There's a strange moment a lot of high performers hit and nobody warns you about. You're excellent at your job. You're reliable. You're trusted. The person people go to when things matter. And somehow, that excellence, it stops leading anywhere. No promotion, no expanded influence, no real authority, just more responsibility. If that feels familiar, this video is for you. Early in your career, excellence works exactly the way you expect. You do good work. You solve hard problems. You get noticed. So excellence, it compounds. But somewhere around senior levels, something breaks. You're doing the same quality work, maybe better work, but the response, it changes. Your managers still say, "Great job." Your peers still respect you. But when promotion decisions happen, your name suddenly doesn't come up. And nobody tells you why. That's because the game changed. And the new rules were never written down. The system no longer rewards how well you do the work. It rewards who shapes direction, who frames decisions, and who other people orient around. And this is where a lot of very capable people stall. Not because they're failing, but because they're still playing the old game. Here's the hard truth most senior professionals don't want to hear. At senior levels, execution becomes invisible faster than you think. Why? Think about professional sports. In the NBA, everyone, at least almost everyone, can shoot. Everyone can defend. Everyone is pretty much elite. So what separates the starters from the bench? It's not technical skill anymore. It's court vision, game awareness, making people around you better. Same thing happens in your career. Once you're at a senior level, competence is assumed. Everyone around you is good. Everyone delivers. Everyone is solid. Here's what it looks like in practice. You send the update, project complete, deployed to production, no issues. Your manager presents the same work to leadership. This cuts our processing time from 3 days to 3 hours. What changed? Nothing about the work. Everything about how it was framed. You said what you did. Your manager, he said why it mattered. And your manager just became the one associated with impact. I've watched this happen over and over. A senior IC or leader does the heavy lifting, designs the approach, anticipates the risks, prevents the failure no one else sees coming. Then in the meeting, they stay quiet. They let the work speak for itself. And someone else, often less involved, connects the dots out loud. That person becomes associated with the outcome. Not because they did more, but because they translated the value. Excellence without visibility doesn't stay neutral. It gets reassigned. Here's what I don't want you to miss. At senior levels, your job is no longer to produce value. It's to signal where the value is. Yes, you heard me right. It's no longer to produce value, it's to signal where the value is. So start noticing the moments when you finish something technically brilliant. And the response, it's just thank you. No questions, no follow-up. No connection to what happens next. That is a signal gap. Or perhaps when someone else presents a messier solution, but the room engages more. Not because their work is better, but because they somehow framed it in terms that the room cares about. That's not politics, that's translation. Or when your manager asks you a technical question and you give a complete answer, but they simplify that same answer when they relay the message upward. They're not dumping it down. They're connecting it to what leadership is optimizing for. So these moments are not failures. They're data points. They're showing you where the gap is. Not louder, not political, just clearer. Because when you don't do that translation for yourself, the organization fills in the meaning for you. And it rarely chooses the version that gives you credit or influence. So, if being excellent feels like it's stopped working, here's the refrain. Nothing is wrong with your work. But excellence alone is no longer the currency. Clarity is. Positioning is. Signal is. And the people who keep advancing, they aren't necessarily better. They're better at helping the room understand what the work means and where it is going. If this resonated, notice one thing this week. Where are you doing excellent work that no one else is interpreting for the room? That's not a visibility problem. That is an invitation. The question is, are you going to accept it? I'm Ola, and I help senior technical professionals navigate the part of their career where being excellent stops being enough. If that's where you are, subscribe. I'm breaking down the patterns that separate the people who plateau from the people who shape direction.